We live, we live, we live. What's up, what's up, what's up, everybody? I just shared just now. We are live. I know y'all are not used to seeing hits and heels on Tuesday nights, but guess what? I had to bring on Kelz with the Intelz, and we get ready to talk all Dallas Cowboys. If you are a Dallas Cowboys fan, tap in. If you are not a Dallas Cowboys fan, keep
Tap
it moving.
in.
Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Because all we're talking is Dallas Cowboys tonight for a few minutes. And Kelz with the Intel. Let me tell y'all about Kelz with the Intel. She is the Intel, right? She has all the ins, the outs, the tea, the gossip, the drama, everything that's got to do with Dallas Cowboys. And we getting ready to get all the updates because I need to be updated, Kelz. Thank you for coming on Hits and Heels with me to talk about our Dallas Cowboys. And let's get it popping. Let's get it popping. You said
Yes, thank you for
our
having
Thursday.
me.
Thursday. We
Thursday.
pop it off. What did you think about the preseason?
So preseason, it was okay. It was what I expected. Preseason is like your job interview, and I gave it this new name. Talking about do you want this check or no?
Okay.
That's what I call preseason. Do you want this check or no? Of course, when Shadi had his interview, leading up to the first week of preseason, he said that it's going to be very vanilla
Okay.
unless something pisses him off.
Ooh.
Then he may show glimpses of the playbook, but I'm glad that didn't happen. Maybe what we saw during the first 2 weeks of preseason wasn't enough to piss him off. Especially with Joe Milton, how his performance was. Um, Flus, welcome back, Flus. He's back with the team. He really did not show the playbook of what the defense going
And
is
and
doing, and
and
so
I
we
think
could
that that's
break
what I
down
kind of learned.
later.
I kind of learned that. I kind of learned that they don't because they're just kind of testing out the players. Most offensive coordinators don't really show their playbook in the preseason.
Right, they don't. Some do, but some don't. But it's basically um the way that I look at it and perceive it is basically to see what the rookies, the undrafted free agent rookies, the ones even with our first, our actual starters, it's still a job that can be taken
Right.
regardless of how long you've been with the team or not.
Hmm.
Um so it's just to see basically the performance level of their players.
Gotcha. So, were there any surprises? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, Zion Childress is like a nephew to us, and we were absolutely excited that he made the team because he played safety with my here at Kentucky with our son. Know his parents. He's like a nephew, so I
I
call
hope
him
his parents
nephew.
tuning in because I'm
Yes.
about to ring his bell. I'm about to.
Hey, that's our boy, that's our nephew. And they were here at Kentucky, and we just had a great time and watching him play. And so ecstatic that our nephew made the Cowboys final roster.
Let me tell you, I'm so proud of him because I was hyping this brother up, and I do this other podcast, shameless plug. It's on Built Different Group,
Uh-huh.
and when we was doing the podcast for the OTAs and the mini camps and the training camps and even the preseason games, I keep saying we're going to see why the nickel position is going to be very important this year because we had lost our our lifeline in Jordan Lewis because
Right.
he was our nickel back
Hmm. The Nickelback. Hmm.
for the team. And I said, and the ones that wanted to see J. Lou, I call them, I know the nicknames, but the ones that wanted J. Lou gone,
Mm-hmm.
even though he was producing good and doing all this other stuff. I said, now you're going to be in a position where you're going to miss what you had. In comes Zion Childress. I was like, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
said, nephew.
I mean, yeah, granted, we lost the first two preseason games, but when I saw this brother, I was like, that's going to be our nickelback. I said, him, it's going to be him or Keemon Hall. I was like, Childress, that's going to be
And
the
he
one.
earned it. And he earned it. And I love the story because again, that's the road that my son wants to go. He wants to go pro, and just being able to see, his brothers go undrafted but still make the 53-man roster, and at a major, because they Dallas Cowboys is not getting ready to play about their roster.
No, they're not.
So you got to go and ball out in order to be able to make that roster. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, because I was definitely like when the team did the official the not the official the initial
Hmm.
53-man roster before the deadline on the what was that Tuesday, the 26th or the 27th. I was looking, I was like, okay, that's just what to push in, to the league and say, okay, NFL, here's our roster. But I said, and I was telling people, don't depend on this roster going into Philly. I said, because a lot of things going to be changing because they got the practice squad that they have to bring in that following Wednesday at 12 p.m.
Hmm.
Eastern Standard Time. So that's when they start doing it. So that's almost considered like a second draft. And the Cowboys
Oh,
were
when you make the
for the
practice
practice
squad.
squad. That's
Okay.
almost considered like a second
Second
draft
draft. Okay.
because you can't do it right away. It starts at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, right after the 53-man rosters have been submitted by teams. But
Okay.
then you go in like a draft order, but they
Okay.
call it a waiver wire order.
Okay.
So the Cowboys was number 19. So we didn't start pushing people onto our practice squad maybe around like 1:30, maybe 2ish that afternoon. So as soon as I was getting text messages by some people I know, and here I go, I'm dropping it in. Can I drop it in? They say, yeah. I'm
Okay.
going into all the groups I'm in. This is the practice squad. But then even some
Okay.
people in the practice squad changed. So
Right. Gotcha.
yeah. And one thing
Gotcha.
I can say about the Cowboys, when we have some good players, we know how to stash some players. So here's a little um
Okay. Give us
here's
the
a
tea.
little, here's a little secret what the Cowboys do. If there's players they like on when you're on uh each team has a practice squad roster of 16 to 17
Okay.
members. And that also includes whoever the designated international player is. So right now we have one or two spots remaining. We don't have a designated international player right now as we speak.
Okay.
We can have one soon. We just don't know when. Um so if once you're on the practice squad, you still can be called by another team,
Even if you're on the practice squad.
even if you're on the practice squad.
So that's why it changes because
Yeah,
somebody else might decide to bring you on the practice
yeah.
squad. Okay, so
The
so
a-
okay, so how
right.
would
So
they
it's an
how are
agent.
they determining that? So if we're the Dallas Cowboys, why would we pull somebody off of somebody else's practice squad that we didn't already bring in to look at?
Right. So let's just say, I'm a player, right?
Mhm.
I got waived, and once I uh was able to get clear, you normally get clear between a 12 to 24 hour period, grace
Mhm.
period. So once that period is over with, and I'm reclaimed back on the practice squad, you're my agent. The Denver Broncos can call you and say, I would like Kelli Collins to be on my 53-man roster. That's how it works.
Even though you weren't there for the preseason.
Right.
Okay.
So what the Cowboys do, if there's players that they really, really like, they will stash you on the injured reserve or the NFI, which is a non-football injury roster. Okay. And you won't take up the 53-man roster.
53-man roster.
Right. So with the Cowboys.
But do you get paid?
Man, let me listen, I would love to be on the practice squad.
What? Girl.
Why? Because you can get paid up to $275,000 for the season. Right? And mind you, you're in the state of Texas, so you don't get no
taxes. No state taxes.
Right? Learn your lesson, Michael Parsons. We're gonna get on that in a minute. So you don't get that. You practice for 3 days, and you still can go to the games for free and be on the sideline. And I don't have to suit up or do nothing.
I don't have to suit up and do nothing, but I can still just be on the sideline and enjoy the game for free.
Right.
And you paying me $250,000. Right.
And I'm considered like a fourth or a fifth string, but God forbid if a first,
if somebody gets hurt and I gotta get pulled up.
Right, that's the only time. But half the time they don't even call on a fourth or a fifth string person. You mean to tell me?
But you see me, and I think that's the part that I think a lot of athletes. But when you're a dog and you're an athlete, most of us are not wired that way. Most of us are not wired to be like, let me go make this easy money as much as possible. Most of them are so, I want to play. And I get that because I'm a former athlete and I get that. But God, I wish I can get some of these athletes to just be like, there are ways for you to go and not have to clock in a job. $250,000 is a nice little piece of change.
And the Cowboys,
even if you're someplace that takes the taxes out.
Right. But even with the Cowboys, they will pay whatever that top ladder is. So they will pay anywhere from that 270 or that 275. You mean it for a year?
You mean tell me I get paid $275,000 to sit on the sideline
and only practice 3 days
and enjoy the game and practice 3 days a week?
Sign me up. Listen, I would even be the Gatorade girl. I will be
this
the
right here girl. Is a game changer already.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying? Because again, what I'm doing is I'm trying to help parents and the NIL already changed the game for college.
They did,
right? But if you can get NIL and then figure out a way to make even if you just make the injured reserve squad.
Listen, if all I have to do is give you this bottle of water or some Gatorade.
For $275,000?
No, they make $60,000 a year. I will take
that. As a water boy.
The water boy, Gatorade boy, girl, whatever.
Oh my God.
$60,000 a year.
And get to watch all the games and be there for all the games.
Right. It might be a little bit more now because today's price ain't yesterday's price.
Price.
If you mean to tell me that's all I have to do, like
all I gotta do is be a water boy and I can get paid $60,000.
Right. And I run out onto the field during the timeouts just to sprinkle a little water or Gatorade in your mouth and get your little Gatorade towel and wipe the sweat. Man,
but I bet those jobs are hard to come by because people don't leave them jobs.
No, they don't. Because you got cushion and you travel with the team. What?
And you travel with the team. Yeah. I mean, to be able to, okay, so but you gotta know somebody to get one of them jobs though, Kelz. Come on.
No, man, listen,
we ain't coming off the street. They giving nephews and nieces and little cousins and all their family members is getting all them jobs.
So let me tell you, I live in the DMV, right? I see the job openings for, I call them the Washington Commodores, but the Commanders. um,
Oh,
yeah,
you call them
they,
the Commodores.
yeah, but the Commanders, I
The
see some of them
mhm.
job opportunities, and they do have the little water boy, water girl, and all that other stuff, for the team. And this is
Right.
what the starting salary is for the season.
Uh-huh.
Listen, I love my Cowboys there, but if you mean to tell me all I gotta do is just throw some water in
I bet
Terry
you I'll throw on a
McLaurin's
Commander's
mouth,
uniform for $60,000 so that I could be at that game to be able to just watch the game.
right? I'd be like, hey, Terry
But then I'll
McLaurin,
just have to find. I'll just have to find me a something else in the off season.
listen, Terry McLaurin, you want some of you want some of this lemonade? Here you go. You need a
Oh
mint?
wow!
You need a mint? Here you
I mean,
go.
that's the stuff that again, that's the little inside stuff that people don't know that are that
No.
are really really invested. Like I really love being connected to you because you have the time to really just be all up in the business of all the Cowboys or the teams, but especially the Cowboys. I just really really love how invested you are with the knowledge that you have. When you dropped your notes today with the practice squad and just all the other stuff, I was like, oh my goodness. So go ahead and let's talk about my boy Mike.
Micah, where you want to start? That's the question. That's the question.
Okay, so from the outside looking in,
Mm-hmm.
okay, it looks like Dallas was lowballing him compared to what he actually received from them. So it was like a huge difference. But I don't know if that was true or not. They
No.
were talking, yeah. What
Mm-mm.
what was what was the real figure that Dallas was offering compared to what he got um with the Green Bay?
So what? So what? Jerry Jones. And we're going to talk about Jerry Jones' ways too. But what Jerry offered him was a 5 multi-year deal. I forgot what the guarantee money was, but it was a nice piece of guarantee money. Um, yeah, 5 years. It was worth 40.5 million dollars for the year. Um, and they shook on
For
it.
a year.
A year. It was 40.5 a year. And mind you, Texas has no state
No
tax.
taxes. No state
Yeah,
taxes.
no state tax. So, and then everyone, let's pin this in. His agent, David Mulligata, he lives in Houston, Texas. Texas, no state tax. Keep that in mind. And I'm gonna bring all this in full circle. So, one thing about Jerry, um,
Hey V.
when you shake on it, he has, your word is bond.
Right.
People think that Jerry Jones is a good old Southern boy from Arkansas. Jerry Gerald Gerald Wayne Jones Sr. is from Inglewood, Compton, California.
He's hood like a mug.
Yeah, and they showed his house where he lived when the SoFi Stadium was built. Okay, so
Okay.
he always had your word is bond mentality.
Okay.
Now, granted, and I'm like this, anytime you're dealing with money and everything, everyone's saying he shouldn't be talking contracts and all this other stuff. Guess what? Unless it's November 4th, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you could talk about all the contracts, negotiation, and litigation you want. So
Okay.
you're in the window to talk, okay? So, granted, anytime you're dealing with money or anything, you want to have your representation there with you so they can hear exactly what I'm hearing,
Right.
what I'm also saying, and what you're also saying. So
Mm-hmm.
I could say, you know what? I like the deal. I want to bring my agent in so we could all sit down and talk about this together. But I think it was a slap in his face when Michael was okay with it, but his agent wasn't.
Agent wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so was
So
the agent trying to get more money so that he can get paid more, or
yeah.
because
So he
sometimes
got,
I think that that might be a conflict of interest too. I mean, with the agents,
yeah.
I
And
mean,
see,
I know we're going to have to go there, at some point, and I think that's probably one of my biggest fears with dealing with my son is, you know, we don't know what we don't know about the
right,
industry, and so we have to hire somebody that allegedly, knows the ins and outs, and hopefully has his best interest, but their best interest has to be in place too, where, okay, you might see what his value is, and we know what his value is, but we also understand that this is a business.
right.
It kind of goes back to, I don't want to go. I hate going back and forth. I know we're talking Dallas Cowboys. It goes back to Nico, the kid from Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
whose
I heard a
dad
little bit
wanted
about
more
that.
wanted more money. And now he's at UCLA, just got blasted. And now you're at a school that you probably don't want to be at, and you're not making the money that you, because you were being greedy, right? So what is that thin line? Like, does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
how does that, because
And
it sounds like that's what Micah's agent was doing. Micah's agent
right.
was
But we're
advocating for
also
more money,
right.
but
But we're also talking about the same agent that T. Higgins fired.
mm,
That a couple of soccer players that he represented fired. So
wow,
he's an agent of different sport genres and everything. So his
hmm
main concern is getting the highest contract out of anything. So a lot of people
but
saying
but isn't that what an agent is supposed to do? Because the more money you get your client, the more money you make.
true, but then also the agent works for the player, not the player works for the agent. So, like in T. Higgins, for that example,
Right.
he wanted to take less money to help Cincinnati Bengals get whatever they needed
They-
for like free agency in the draft.
Isn't that
It,
what the GOAT did? Isn't that the
right,
reason why they kept winning? Because he wasn't taking the full amount of money that he could take, so that he could make sure that he had people around him to help him to win.
right. And then he said, as long as he has enough money for his family, just,
Yeah.
as long as I'm secure as far as family wise, I'm good. But I don't need all this. The agent did not like that. So T. Higgins accepted the
Fired him.
offer and signed for it. And then 15 minutes
Fired,
later, he
fired him.
fired David Mulligetta. So you have that. So and to take away from the whole contract thing, because one thing about Jerry will pay his players. He will play his players. And you can even look at old um interviews with DeMarcus Lawrence and who we still
Mhm.
have on the roster now
Right.
with Malik Hooker. He has no problem paying his players, but they said, but he did the same thing with Emmitt Smith. The difference
No,
is
because Emmett put
Emmett
put it
was
out
not on
there
a
and
contract.
cleared that up.
Yeah, Emmett was not on a
Not under
contract.
contract.
He
Yes.
was not on a contract. Michael
Yeah.
Parsons
Was
was
still
on,
had a year.
was on his 5th-year option
Yes.
that the Cowboys decided to exercise during Micah's 3rd year in the league. But a lot of it really has to do with his professionalism.
The agent,
No, Michael Parsons.
or Micah's
His
professionalism. Okay, got
professionalism.
it. Okay.
So I'm gonna talk about my personal experience with him in a minute,
Okay.
but
Because these are not, because I have to tread lightly because I want my son to get, and I don't want them coming back and then watching my podcast and then making it look like I done bashed them, and I don't know who my son might get drafted
right.
by.
So and like I said, and I have to be careful too with what I say
Yeah.
because I'm cool with his dad. I love his dad. Dad is
Oh
very
yeah,
cool
yeah.
on the earth. I think it was a lot of things um that was being said about what was happening in the locker room and all this other stuff. A lot of that is true.
Somebody brought that up on the question. Yeah.
Oh, I could read the questions too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
right here. Here, I'll bring it up. Y'all think he's bad for a locker room like everyone is saying, or is he just playing the industry how he should?
no,
Great question, Devontae.
it was a lot of like personal character issues that was going on. Um, when I met Micah, um, and this was and shout out to Cynthia Bone with Fan Zone. I met him at the Cowboys takeover, and the numerous Cowboys takeovers I've been to, and even when I use Fan Zone's service for the games, and Cynthia is known for bringing players to her events and everything. And I have met a lot of those players, partied with a lot of those players. Michael Parsons was the one that turned me off. He's not engaging. He was busy on his phone. And I'm like,
Mm.
people pay thousands of
The
dollars
dollars to come see you,
to come
so
see
you have
you
to be.
and to
Yeah,
fellowship with you and to
yeah,
party with you, and you're not engaging or anything.
right.
And we
Yeah.
have this big show that happens 3 times a year called the CSA show.
Okay.
In Chantilly, Virginia. It's at the Dallas Expo Center. And I have contacts with them. I made good relationships with them. Um when Micah came uh to the CSA show, you know, everybody was receiving him in the lines. Um and people was like, "Oh, are you going to go get a part, an autograph?" I said, "Nope, I already met him. I'm good. I'm good."
Yeah.
So when they came out from the picture, the photo booth to have a picture with them, they's like, "Well, that was interesting." I say, "I told you," and I could see what was happening backstage. People
Mm,
coming up to him and say, "Hey, Micah, I love how you play, yada
right.
yada yada," and he's trying, they're trying to dap him up and stuff, and he like, yeah, he's talking to whoever he's with, yeah, 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 and pushing people out, to the side after the picture is done.
Oh,
I'm like, but my thing is when, and I even go to the hotel where the players go
right.
to when they come to DC.
Right.
So I'm okay. I'm an adult. I don't care if you act like that with me because I can tell you where to go and what to kiss
But
under
with
the,
the kids,
yeah. But when the kid comes to approach you, they don't have
yeah.
to want an autograph or a picture. They just want to. I dapped up Michael Parsons and I talked to him.
Right.
They run up to him, "Michael, you're one of my favorite players on the Cowboys." You're on your phone, you looking him up and down, and you keep on about your business.
I'm
Don't
sorry
do
to hear that. Don't
don't
do
do it to
that.
the
We
kids.
gotta do better, Micah. We gotta do better.
So,
We gotta do better.
and granted, like I'm not taking away from anything. Like he is a dynamic player on the field.
Absolutely. Yes.
But when Shotty came into the organization, I mean, he's been there. Let's say like this. Shotty's been there for 4.5 years. But when he came into the organization as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, him and the vice president of player personnel, who is my boy, Will McClay, and he's a brother.
Okay.
When they had a meeting with Michael Parsons, and I'm just paraphrasing, whatever you was doing when Mike McCarthy and Dan Quinn was in the building, we're not doing it now. We're trying to build something new. We're starting a new chapter. He basically got called out. He didn't like it. And one thing that he said, like, you're not going to run to Jerry Jones when a coach or anybody says something that you don't like, because it creates a whole different atmosphere.
Yeah.
So what a lot of people don't know is Jerry is not doing a whole lot of stuff like he used to do. A lot of it is now with Shoddy, Will McClay, and Stephen Jones.
Even.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
with
because
that being said, it's showing up like Micah, if he shows up to meetings, he's late. He leaves out of meetings, or he has some type of earpiece in his ears, not paying attention,
not paying
not
attention.
listening. And everything now, when it comes to play calling, it's not in a binder no more. Everything is like on a tablet. Players in all leagues get an NFL issued tablet that has
Okay.
the playbook on it.
Okay.
So when you're not studying or reading the playbook. And then it's also times, because I've seen it at a few games that I have attended since Michael Parsons been in the league. Whether the Cowboys win or lose, if something don't go your way, you have a tendency of leaving and going into the locker room. So you
During
have,
the game?
so you ha- yeah, so you have a little attitude or a little meltdown. We get the
Got
bathroom breaks. Bathroom breaks ain't nothing.
Yeah.
You're
Right.
entitled to bathroom breaks. But
Absolutely.
but the thing is, you have to look at body language and demeanor. And
Whew.
I've seen that. And so that was a lot. And then if and if you need to backtrack also all the things that I'm saying too, listen to the podcast that is on the Dallas Cowboys radio
Okay.
station. You can subscribe to it on YouTube as well.
Okay.
They have been talking about the same thing. So and he was talking about leadership roles and everything. In order for you to be a leader, you have to conduct yourself in a way to be a leader.
You have to set the example.
Yeah, you have to set the standard. I don't care if you're getting paid $1. Set the standard to show that you are a leader.
If you're the leader, yeah.
Right. So he doesn't want to be accountable for the things he's done. So okay.
Oh my goodness.
And he also, and I remember this because I watch Hanging with the Boys that's on the Cowboys radio station that has Jesse Holly, Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, and Shannon Gross.
Okay.
I remember a couple of years ago, because he kept saying, I don't want to get sent to the principal's office and all this other stuff. I'm like, why do you keep saying that? Because Jesse Holly, he will speak his mind. But when everything happened, I think it was today, Tuesday. They didn't have a show yesterday because of the holiday. It was either last Thursday or Friday. He said, when I kept saying, I don't want to get in trouble with the principal, and the principal is basically Derek Eagleton, who is the vice president of media relationships.
Okay.
He's Black dude, member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Okay.
I've hung around him, been around him, talked to him, So what happened was, when Jesse Holly, and I remember this episode, when Jesse Holly was talking about leadership roles and being held accountable and being a leader and everything. And he told Micah Parsons, it's okay. You don't have to be a leader for everything. Just do your job and mentor the ones that's coming in after you and work with the ones that was there before you. Apparently, Mama made a call to the principal's office because, and I remember the tweets too. Michael Parsons' brother, started tweeting at Jesse Holly and talking about how dare you talk about my brother. Da, da, da. So for 2 years, when anytime they was talking about the defense on Michael Parsons, he has kept a fine line on what to say because he did not want to say anything that would piss somebody off. And my
Yeah.
thing is, if you can't take the heat, stay out the kitchen.
I think that's the part that I'm not looking forward to. I'm
And my thing
not,
is like,
I'm
and
not looking forward.
I think I'm a different
But
breed.
I
I'm
feel
not
like we're realistic about his
right.
ability.
And my
Yes.
thing is like, I've never claimed to be the best thing since sliced bread and all this other stuff. But if you see something that I could have improvements in, it's okay to have constructive criticism.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I'll take what you say. Okay, I see what you're saying. So let me see how can I improve this. And then when I go to my coaches, I say, okay, I was listening to so and so, yada yada yada, and they said that I need to work on this technique or work on that technique. What can I do to improve? Instead of having, I don't know if I can say it on here, but a bitch fit.
Right. That part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where we are with the whole Michael Parsons thing. But he's Green Bay's problem now. He took the 4 year
And not the
deal
5.
that's not the 5 that's worth $188 million, not the 202 million. But he got his little 47 million for the year. And since he decided not to play on the 5th-year option, we took that money back, which added more money in cap space, which now we have the second highest number in cap space because the Patriots is number 1 and we're
Mm-hmm.
number 2. So you got your 47 million, but
And
guess
then
how
we got
much?
2 first round draft picks on top of
Yeah,
that.
and we're going to talk about that too. So outside of that 47 million that you got, you only saw 25 or 26 million dollars because the state of
Of the state of
Wisconsin taxed that ass.
ooh wee.
Compared to the 40
Compared to if you'd have
the
stayed in Texas
40.5
with
million
no
that
taxes.
you with no taxes that you could have gotten from Dallas.
Ouch. Okay, well, Mr. Brown said, I don't, he said he doesn't think Jerry is a bad owner, but he regards him as the flawed football man. Jimmy Johnson built the winning ways with Dallas when he made the Herschel Walker trade with the Vikings.
But you know what? I talked to Mickey Smagnolia on that. Mickey has been around the team for a long time. And he's on the show Mix Shots. So he was around there during that time. He was saying that that was a good deal. He said that one thing that Jerry did, he traded Minnesota all the bad players. Like they were
Yeah.
okay, but they weren't like the bombastic players and stuff. And he basically said that Herschel Walker wasn't all that. And I
But
love
what
me
did Herschel do when he got to Minnesota? I don't remember.
nothing. Because they did not have the coaching scheme that was built for Herschel
For,
Walker.
for Herschel Walker. Okay, for him to thrive and be as
Right.
successful. Gotcha. Okay.
Because a man by the name of Emmett Smith, who is my frat brother, that's who they had their eyes on.
Gotcha. Okay. So has Jerry's hands on influence on the franchise different from other owners in ways has fractured the opportunities to advance to the Super Bowl now going on 30 years? Like
Yeah.
it has?
He
Yeah.
has some influence because remember there was a lot of lawsuits against Jerry Jones with some of the other leagues because one thing I can say about Jerry Jones is a lot of things, but he knows what to do to bring in some money.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, obviously. Yes.
So like
Or he has some great people around him to
right.
help him.
And I'm not a big like I used to drink sodas a lot, but
Hmm.
now I cut back on it. And the only time I will have a soda if I have a need for it. I'm not a Coca-Cola person. I'm
Yeah,
team
I
Pepsi.
haven't drank soda in over 20 years.
Right. So I'm team Pepsi. If I'm gonna go
Okay.
for a soda, I'll go for team Pepsi. So he started deals with the Pepsi company. He started deals with Nike. Now what you see in the league now, Nike. The jerseys are now Nikes. Even though I still like the when we had the Mitchell and Ness
Yes.
jersey, yeah. But we had the
'Cause
Nike.
what happened to the starter brand? I have. What happened to that? I used
I
to
don't
have
know.
a Cowboy starter jacket back in the day.
Let me tell you, 2 years ago they came out with this starter jacket, and it was like the old school retro one.
Yeah.
I was so about to buy it till I saw the price. I was like, mm-mm. I said
Exactly.
maybe it will go on sale. Nope, that thing did not go on sale. Um, and then the Cowboys have their own clothing merchandise line that is outside of Nike and outside of Fanatics. So Jerry Jones know how to do that, and then the person he has in charge of that is his daughter Charlotte.
Okay.
So she
But
deals with
but
a lot of the
this is
merchandise.
one
Her
thing
and
that
her and Jerry Jr. deals with that.
this is one thing that millionaires and people like that do is they do a good job of setting their children up. I've tried to do that with some people too. Like if we have a family business,
Mm-hmm.
I need you to go learn certain jobs that I have to pay somebody to do that. So why not keep it in the family and you go learn marketing? You go learn the accounting part. You go
Right.
learn maybe you're the family attorney and you're
Yeah.
taking care of all our stuff. I wish we in our community would do a
Do
better
that.
job
Yeah.
of doing that. Yes,
And then
do a better job of doing that.
also what
I love how he's got his whole family involved with the business.
involved in it. Yeah. And then he got like some of the players that came in with him, kids running around
Running around, yeah.
in the organization. And that's one thing, like, if you're good with Jerry and everything, and this is not, and I'm gonna say
He'll
this,
take care of you.
is
He'll take care of
he'll
you.
take care of you, and this has nothing to do with like the slave owner mentality or anything like that. Because like what we was talking about backstage, what a lot of people don't know about Jerry, with one of the HBCUs that's in Dallas, Paul Quinn. Paul
Mhm.
Quinn lost their football accreditation, and where Paul Quinn College is, and let's be real, the way that some of these HBCUs was set up, they're in some of the most destitute eras of whatever city it's in. So where Paul Quinn is, hi Megan. Megan is in Dallas, so she should know where Paul Quinn is.
Mhm.
Paul Quinn is in the food desert area of Dallas, Texas. So they changed their whole football field into an agricultural um department. So
Okay.
when Jerry Jones and Charlotte went to Paul Quinn, because they found out that a lot of their produce, a lot of their meats came from
Came
Paul
from there.
Quinn. Paul Quinn. So when they learned about it and everything, now if you are an agricultural major at Paul Quinn, you will get an internship with the Dallas
Dallas
Cowboys and
Cowboys.
work in their dietitian service field. So
Oh my God.
so so
That is
they
gangster.
and they know how they read what the players like whatever their dietitian meal is.
Mhm.
They will do the field plan, the food plan based off of that player's dietitian, what they need is how many protein they need for the week.
Yeah.
and all this other stuff. And when they put it in the refrigerator, all the players' names are on there, and their food is in their own respectable slots that they can
Hmm.
get whatever it is that they need. And they also gave Paul Quinn an ass load of money for their agricultural, so they could still get the produce and all this other stuff, because there's no, like, you know how
Yeah,
we
because football is the if you lose your football program, most schools cannot function or
right.
stay if the football program goes away. Because most schools, I mean, I think
And Paul Quinn used to have a dynamic
football program.
football
What
program.
happened?
They they lost their accreditation. They lost their accreditation. So
Mhm.
they used, I don't think they were in the SWIAC. I think they was in the SIAC, if I'm not
AC,
mistaken.
yeah,
Yeah.
got
I think that's the division, I mean the HBCU athletic conference that they were in.
hmm
So and there, and like where that area of Paul Quinn is, there's really like no, like what we have here, we have like a Harris Teeter, Whole Foods, something like Trader Joe, like where you
yeah.
could get like organic, fresh food, all that other stuff. So
hmm
there's not like a grocery store there, and it's just like in some areas here where, what do you see? A McDonald's on every street, or Burger King. I know I had Wendy's, but still, but
Right.
there's nothing hearty and healthy in that area where Paul Quinn is. So
hmm
they gave Paul Quinn an ass load of money so they
hmm
could still provide the produce and stuff they need for the neighborhoods that there, because there's a lot of elderly that's there, because they give produce away for free. They're not making money off of it. And that's what Charlotte Jones asked the president of Paul Quinn, how much
hmm
money you're getting for this. They weren't getting nothing, because their whole thing was, because we're HBCU and we're about our Black people, we want to make sure our Black people have what they need. So Jerry Jones cut a nice check to Paul Quinn. And in the meantime, he said, I'm going to help you get your football
Accreditation.
program back,
That's
because
right.
he heard about Paul Quinn. And who told him about Paul Quinn?
Who?
Gil Brandt before he died. Gil
Wow.
Brandt. Gil Brandt was there with um with Tom Landry and Bum Bright,
hmm
Clint Murchison, and he was the vice president of player personnel. And he's the architect of what we see now, which is the NFL Combine. And I
Okay.
had and I had a very good relationship with Gil Brandt up until he passed and
Passed
everything.
away
And he became a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2019. I think he should have been in a little bit
before.
before. Um, but that's how he found out about Paul Quinn and their football program. So right now, the last bit of information I heard as far as the update, they're on track of getting their program back. But guess what? Their football field is not going to be where it used to be, which is now their agricultural. Jerry Jones is going to front the money to build a brand new stadium on Paul Quinn's campus.
Shut the front door. And see, as much negativity as there is about Jerry Jones, those are the stories that people need to hear about and need to be reposting on social media when they find out about them. Because I'm like Mr. Brown. He seems like he does want to do the right thing, but then sometimes it just seems like he's just got his hands and he's micromanaging too much. And so you just don't know. Oh, this is a good question. During the last coaching hire, was there any serious consideration to hire Dion?
No, because Deion Sanders has been on record um that he does not want to coach
Want to
for
coach in the in
any
the in the
for any
NFL team?
NFL team. But he did call prime time for, and I do, one thing he does call like certain players for advice.
Advice. Mm-hmm.
So when he made a call to Dion, it was to get advice about
Advice, not
the
necessarily
coaches.
about him. Yeah.
And basically what, because when they talked about it in the interview, and one thing I like to do is, like, you and I are talking, right? But there's
Mm-hmm.
somebody listening to what we're saying, but they're also listening to the words that is
Of course.
not being said. So I
Yes.
like to listen to the words that is not being
Not being
said
said.
during
Mm-hmm.
the interview. So to he to put things in perspective, he basically told Jerry, if you're going to get a head coach, you're going to have to let them coach. Get out
Yeah.
the way.
And get out the way. Yeah.
So that's what he's doing with Shotty, because Shotty has been doing a whole lot of things that a lot of people
That a lot of other
don't
coaches
know.
haven't been able to do.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I just saw Mr. Brown's other comment. Do you know why the Cowboys?
Yeah. Why did the Cowboys play
Yes.
on Thanksgiving Day?
Yes, I do know, but because at the time it was only Detroit, right? So it was becoming a big thing. And they were saying, we need to add another game on Thanksgiving. Nobody did not want to do it. But the Cowboys decided, okay, we'll take the
We'll take it.
4
We'll
o'clock.
take them. Yeah.
And that's been going on for
Ever since then.
decades now, yeah. And then they started after that, then the quote unquote Sunday night game on Thanksgiving came into play right after that.
Okay, that's good stuff. Good question, Mr. Brown. And same here. She said you only hear the bad stories about the Joneses. She's thank you for sharing that, Kelz. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's great. You know, I'm so glad we got on here because I got a totally different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Even
And
though
then
I'm a fan, then
and I want to say during COVID, so that the Cowboys wouldn't go dark, they put out a lot of content about what goes on at the Star. It's sad that Marcus Paul, who was one of our strength and conditioning coaches, during the pandemic, he would do videos, like, and it will post like every Wednesday. Yeah, every Wednesday, of different exercises you can do while you was at home and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But when it was time for him to do the taping of it, they found him in our training room unresponsive, and he died in 2020. So but during the pandemic, that's when I found out about the whole Paul Quinn thing, because they did a documentary that went on all their socials, just to keep fans engaged about.
So do they talk about that in the Netflix thing?
No, because all this happened recently. This was after the Super Bowl, all the Super Bowl glories that we had. I wish it would have been, but no.
Gotcha. So he said Tex Sham, is that his name? Was a great influence. Scram.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He influenced signed a lifetime deal for Dallas to play on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and I'm gonna see if anybody else know. Do anyone know why we had a big rivalry with then the Washington Redskins?
Why do we have a big rivalry with the Redskins?
Mm-hmm. Where it all came from?
Where'd it come from?
Yeah, let's
talk about something. Mr. Brown, where did the rivalry with the now Commanders come from? Where'd that come from? My girl just dropped. My daughter just dropped in. She said, "But what we already talked about, Micah. You already missed it. You might have to hit the rewind button."
You might have to hit the rewind. But it's nothing that I just saw. It said I'm not.
Are we upset or not? She said we not upset, and then she said,
no,
"At what point do we jump ship? We ain't going nowhere. That's why we on here. We ain't going nowhere."
Until
And
someone
I
no
know it's not Wednesday, but Wednesday is our regular hits and heels where we bring it up. But today I made it a special day where we just talk nothing but Dallas Cowboys. Tuesdays is
yeah,
Dallas Cowboys Day.
was that
Yeah,
yeah.
because I had to get caught. I had to get caught up. It's just so much going on. I have to get caught up. And Kelz with the Intelz has all the Intelz.
Yeah, because everyone keep telling me like, do you know so? I'd be like, yeah. Well, what I said, I can't say because like I said, I know a lot of people that works closely. I mean, in the front office, and I know people that work closely with people in the front office. So if I'm getting some type of information or something, a lot of the stuff is embargo. But when they
Okay.
say, "Hey, you can spill the whole tea," man, I'm not spilling the tea. I'm gonna dump the whole jug out
Right.
and say, "Da da 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 da."
She said, okay, they better not be a bunch of noodles. I know that.
Well, so here's the
And she
thing:
said, because I paid my money to go to this game. I think she's going to she lives in Chicago, so she's going to the Chicago game.
okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, that's gonna be a trap game.
What that mean?
Um, one of them games that we say, "Oh, we gonna win," but we end up losing, or we win barely by the skin of our teeth. The only reason why I said this could be a trap game is because I have two words: Al Harris. Al
Oh, he's now on the staff with them, and he was a DB coach, so he knows everybody's
and not on
weaknesses.
and not on and he and every player that he drafts when he was
Yeah.
with the Cowboys is still with the Cowboys. It doesn't matter. It doesn't
Oh,
matter if Flus is back in the Cowboys building or not. He knows those players
he
and he
knows
knows
those
their
players,
weakness. And not only
and he
he's the
knows their weaknesses.
and not only he is the secondary coach for the Chicago Bears, he is also the passing game coordinator.
Oh, we.
That's going to be a trap game.
I tried getting him on my podcast, and he wouldn't come. But
No, no, don't.
when he
I'm gonna
was
tell you
still
right
when he was
now.
still with the Cowboys,
Do
and I
not.
told him, I said I'm a safe place. I don't do any of the drama and all the the stuff. I know I brought you on here, and I was like, we want to see hear the tea, but I don't. I want to keep it. I'm a fan, so I
Right.
want no negativity on
Right.
here.
So
you
Jalen, do not sell your tickets because this is the reason why I say that. Because we only unless we place in the same division. Um. So let's say okay. So they're NFC North. So we play the NFC North every 4 years, right? Now let's say I don't know if we play another NFC North next season, but if we
Mhm.
place third and the Bears place third next year, then we'll see the Bears again. But this is probably going to be the last meeting for the Cowboys at Soldiers Field because they're getting a brand new stadium. And Soldiers Field is one of the meccas
Oh.
after after Lambeau Field
Mhm.
because of George Halas, because he is also one of the architects of the NFL. So this will be your last chance to actually witness a game at Soldiers Field, which is an iconic historic
Oh my
stadium.
God, Jay, this is gonna be a kind of okay. So I have an event on that Saturday night. We're not gonna get done until like midnight. And so I was like, oh my God, can I make it to Chicago the next day
Yeah.
so that I could make that game? Oh my God. I was so mad when, I mean, I wasn't mad because I can't wait for my event. But I was like, oh my goodness. Every time I get a chance to, so my husband's a 49ers fan. So we were supposed to be going to I think the last time, um, no, the 49ers played in Dallas was COVID.
Right. And that was the one time we beat them.
Was COVID. Yeah.
Yeah.
She said, what is it? And they lose. She said, what is iconic about a loss?
It's
Even
not
if they
about
lose,
it's not
even
about
if
a
it's not
loss.
about the loss, it's about the history that you're gonna make history by going to the last game that the Cowboys
Will probably
will
play at
probably
Soldier
play
Field.
at Soldier Field, and that is iconic. So don't worry about the loss. Just go and enjoy the game. Yeah, just go. And I did meet Whispering Ray, perhaps the first African American mascot back in the 70s. He was the Cowboys mascot.
You
Oh,
mean
I did
Crazy
not
Ray?
know that.
You mean
What's his
Crazy
name?
Ray? Crazy Ray.
Crazy Ray. Crazy Ray. Okay.
Crazy Ray is cool. I've met him when he came no, his name is Crazy Ray, not Whispering Ray. Crazy Ray.
Crazy Ray. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
Crazy Ray. I met him when he came here when the Cowboys played Washington and Chief Zeke was still living. So I met him. I met Crazy Ray.
But this is gonna be the last one.
Yeah, this gonna be the
This
last
is gonna be
one.
the last one. I get that you've already been to one, but this is gonna be the last time the Cowboys play at Soldier Field. So
Yeah.
that's why it's
But I
iconic.
mean,
Don't sell your tickets.
I don't have Chicago in playoff contention. But like I said, this one may be the trap game. So
Because of Harris
because of
now
out here.
being there.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna have a different perspective because he knows the players.
Right.
He knows the players and he knows their weaknesses.
Right. And so to break down a little bit of the playbook, and this can also segue to that part. Because like we said, this is a brand new season. We don't know I'm telling Cowboy fans, give grace because everything is brand new. We don't know
And
what
I think that's the part that people don't it's a whole new system. And you've got to
right.
give them time to get acclimated with the new system. Even Dak, as much as y'all are on Dak about stuff, Dak has to learn another new offensive coordinator
system. Right.
system.
And the thing is, I mean, out of the 10 years that Dak has been there, Shotty has been there for 4.5 years. So he's worked with Dak as a QB coach, a strengthening coach, a OC, now head coach. And I'm gonna bring this part up on tomorrow's show, but I'm gonna drop the nugget here.
Okay.
Like this season is going to be taxing, so give this season grace. I only have like us winning maybe 8 or 9 games because of
It's a new
this.
system.
It's a new system. So for the offense, listening to Shotty, it seems like we're going to be running the ball a little bit more because that's what used to be our bread and butter,
Of
running
course.
the ball.
Oh, yeah.
So it seems like we're going to be doing a gap scheme run offense.
Okay.
Listening to Shotty, Connor Riley, and Clayton Adams, who was our OC. And as far as with Flus, I know Flus is going to be running a 3-tech with a 1-tech nose tackle defense, and it's going to be set in a 4-3 scheme.
Okay.
But when it comes to Thursday night, the question that I have is, are they running? Are they going to run the plan 3-tech 4-3 with the 1-tech nose tackle, or the 3-tech 3-4 with the 1-tech nose tackle, or the 5-2 defense, or are we going to see a little bit of all 3 of those schemes?
And as a female coach, this is what I've learned that I don't understand on the level that they're on is what is the strength of my players? I know I come into if I walk in the table and I have a playbook,
Mm-hmm.
But I don't understand why these coaches make the players adapt to their playbook instead of finding out what they're good at and then figuring out a scheme that works based off of their skill set and
Terry,
based
I
off of
wish
what
we
we have. Because if why are we running the ball when we got both of these jokers on the side? They're gonna be mad if they're not getting the ball.
right. And Terry, I wish we was friends years ago on Facebook, because I'd be having fun with my comments. Like I add a little comedy to it, but at least I know what I'm talking about. And I always say that I would like for us to design plays and schemes based on the talent
And
of
the
our play.
personnel that we
Right.
had. And I ever since I've been, well, even before I became an offensive coordinator, I started seeing it because it was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, because even, somebody, somebody dogged me about, oh, you did this, Madden play or whatever. I said, it's middle school.
Right.
I said, it doesn't need to be that freaking complicated.
Right.
Right. And I think that's what it was. And I was like, and then I think somebody said something about he went through the one, you called him to go through the one hole and he went to the side. I said, fool, if you look at the video, he came through the one go and then he veered off to the side.
Right.
What are you looking at? You know what I mean? But anyway,
Yeah. No, I
regardless of
get
that,
that too. And like I said, like it,
I don't understand this how I just don't understand that concept. And I'm not trying to dog anybody. I'm not trying to at
yeah.
all. But I do not understand how you look at your personnel and if we're run heavy, cool.
Right.
Back in the day when we had a great tight end back in the day. Okay, then let's do a little bit more to go to the tight end more. But if we got wide receivers that can get separation and can beat anybody one on one, I mean, what are
Mm-hmm.
we doing?
And let me tell you, and I noticed something on our last preseason game when we played Baltimore and everything. I noticed that, and I don't know if this is a play that he's going to implement in the regular season. I hope we do, because it seemed like during practice and during training camps and stuff, he was running 11 and 12 personnel schemes, right?
Okay.
What I saw on the last preseason game, and it was in the fourth quarter, that he lined up three tight ends and a fullback in the backfield. I said,
Oh,
wait a minute, are we going to see some 13 and 14 personnel? Because I love that.
oh, I do too. I love going heavy on a run play.
I love that.
Mhm.
And I'm
Yeah.
trying to think, not trying to, and I want to say that one, I think that's the 13, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, where you have three tight ends and a running back or a fullback in the backfield, and
Yeah.
there's
Three
no
people in the
wide
backfield.
receiver. Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's
Three
no
people in the
wide
backfield.
receivers. And I think the 14 personnel, where there is all four tight ends. So you have your two blocking tight ends as
Mhm.
your wide out.
Yeah, it almost looks like a wing.
Yeah. I was like, are we gonna see that? I hope so. Cause I got happy. I was jumping up and down on my mama's sofa. And I was like, oh, let me stop, because I don't want to mess
And,
I don't want
and,
to break my mama's sofa. But I was
I mean,
happy.
just
Oh,
the only thing with the only thing about just the only thing when you go to those personnel is Stevie Wonder can see you're getting ready to run the ball,
right. And
right?
that's
And
what
so
Shotty,
then now they're packing you in the box, and
right.
so you just so then now it's just a matter of, okay, we're looking at film. If we can, if our people is better than your people, if our offense is better than your defense, then we can run it. Like
Right.
that's basically what it comes down to. Our offense is just better than your defense. So
Right. And one thing I did notice too, like between
I got that from Mr.
two,
Brown.
the last two did the great. Oh Lord. We
Yeah,
gonna
he
hold
did. He did.
yes, he got
Like in the last couple
drafted
years.
in 2021, and when he came to the CSA show that I go to a lot, we had a celebratory shot with my boy Randy White. I love me some Randy White. I talk to him on a constant basis. Him, Randy White, my crew and we was taking celebratory shots 3 weeks before Drew Pearson went to Canton to get enshrined. So yes, it took him 33 years.
It took him, yeah.
That he
Because I
should
remember when he didn't
had
get it,
10
he was
more.
like, "Dang, I didn't get in again." It
Yeah,
was so sad. Yeah,
yeah, he should have been in a long time
a
ago.
long time ago.
But one thing I noticed
Yeah, it's a jumbo. A jumbo package.
And the one thing I noticed, like with the last preseason and the first two, what I look at is, especially because I like the defense side, and
My husband's a defensive coach, so it's hard for me not to be intrigued with the defense.
Yeah. And when I was a kid, when I used to go to before and after care and summer camps, one of our activities was like flag football, or we would do a little bit of tackle football, just for like recreation purposes and stuff. So I will get in that's how, like, my granddad, God rest his soul, big Cowboys fan, and he'll watch football when we go down to Richmond, or if he comes up here during the holidays and the game is on, we'll watch it together, yada yada yada. But I liked playing football when I was a rec brat kid.
Okay.
And everything. So I will always want to be on defense. Put me on defense because I can knock you around. I want to knock you around.
How old are you, Kelz?
I'm 42. I'll be 43 this year.
Okay, because I was gonna say my center for my women's team is 52.
Ooh,
So why you didn't play for the DC Divas?
girl, nah, I can't. I'm a lazy fat kid right now. Nope. Girl, nah, I can't do that. I don't think I can
You
do
can get in shape. You can get in shape.
Nah, but
And go ahead and play.
Yeah, but they will always put me as like a defensive end or a defensive tackle. Perfect. I get to knock you around and swing you around. Perfect. That's so now when I watch games, especially like with this preseason game, like I said, we're under a brand new coaching regime.
Yeah.
I was trying to see if we were having the same issues last year that that we're bringing into preseason this year. And like I said, preseason is nothing big. I don't care how many penalties you get. Let's just know what to do to clean it up so we don't have to have this occurrence during the regular season. I did see a little bit of stuff on the first two preseasons that was still lingering and carrying on from last season. Probably season before last. We was still slow getting off of our blocks.
Oh no, that's not good. Why haven't we fixed that?
I know, and my thing is, we should have
seen it on video
when you're watching. We should have fixed that. We should have fixed that week 1 with the Rams, because they not only did they punch us in the mouth during the preseason game, when we had the joint practice days before that first preseason game, they came to Oxnard and punched us in the mouth, and we was using the first team.
Oh,
which included Dak Prescott.
That's not good at all.
So the Rams punched us in the mouth twice. This year. And it wasn't even a 72-hour span.
But even still, everybody's gonna look at that video, and
Right.
and they're gonna base that video to use to scout every game because
Exactly.
we got hit in the mouth. They like, what did they do to hit them in the mouth? And they're gonna take those notes out. Oh, I hate to hear that. I hate
Yeah.
that.
V, if you're still on, what you mean? Is it the coach or the scouts? I'm just,
Oh, is that on the coach or the scouts? Oh, what was we talking about? Oh, B, I'm sorry. What was we talking about? Is
yeah,
that on
I
the-
just saw that.
Oh, I think what we was talking about with the personnel,
Yeah,
like that makes sense. B, like, okay, the
it's
scout,
both.
yeah, I think it's a combination of both. You know what I mean? Because sometimes even as a scout, you're trying to get the players that you want, but sometimes you can't get the players that you want.
Right. And then
Right? They end up going someplace else. And so then you gotta settle. I hate the word settle. So then you gotta take what you can get as far as building your team. So then once you get your team, then you gotta go through a series of practices or whatever to see what everybody's skill set is. Be like, okay,
right.
well, who can catch the ball and who can run the ball and who's got good vision and who's, you know what I mean? Okay, so I only got one person that got good vision in the backfield. We're gonna have to run the ball. We're gonna have to figure it out.
So
We,
let me tell you one thing.
we have to throw the ball. Because we don't have nobody in the backfield. I mean,
Exactly. And let me tell you one thing. William McClay, the vice president of player personnel for the Dallas Cowboys, who is also the scouting director. Ever since 2017, 2018, he has been doing the roles, duties, and responsibilities of the general manager. If you look at his resume is very stellar when it comes to drafting and scouting. He had a couple of mix-ups. When I hear Michigan, I get triggered. So
okay.
but he's quick to say that Taco Charlton was not his move. That was a jury move.
Okay.
So Will McClay is basically like the de facto general manager. So, like I said, I go to the hotel when the team comes here to DC
Mm-hmm.
to play. And once he gets settled and stuff, he'll come to the bar where I'm at and everything, and we'll sit down. We'll be talking, chatting it up. And I asked him last season, which was the all in season. Um, and I asked him, I said, Will, why Jerry just don't want to make you the GM? You're doing the responsibilities and the roles
Mm-hmm.
of a general manager. Like, why is he so gung-ho just on a title when you're the one doing it? And he looked at me, he said, Kelz. And that's how like we're off of first name
Yeah.
basis when he called me my nickname. He
Nickname.
said,
Yeah.
Kelz, I'm just here doing my job. And my main concern this year was like everybody was talking about free agency, how the Cowboys really don't make a splash in free agency and all this other stuff. Our biggest free agent for us to get was Will McClay, because while all the other coaches on the Cowboys, their contract expired January 10th at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, Will McClay was still on the books, and his contract was to expire this past May.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason why he was basically still in Dallas because his son was in high school in Dallas and he was matriculating out. His son graduated in May. So any of the teams that was in the market for a general manager
Could have.
could have
Yeah.
could have interviewed him, because guess what? Will McClay at that time, he had no obligations to hold him back staying in Dallas, because he could have went to Jersey, he could have went to Jacksonville. I forgot the other teams that was
The other
looking
two, there was
for.
two other ones I think that
Yeah,
needed a general manager.
he
Yeah.
could have went to any of those teams, and whatever college that his son was attending, he could have went to his daddy during those breaks, wherever his daddy was.
Mm-hmm.
Before, now, not only that, you lost Bones Fossil to Tennessee. No, he didn't. No, Washington didn't want him because Washington has what's his name? Adam Peters. They already had a general manager. Washington didn't want him. It was nobody in the NFC East that wanted him. It was I think it was all AFCs, if I'm not mistaken. I know Jacksonville, the Jets was one, and it was two other ones.
Mm-hmm.
So not only we lost Bones Fossil to Tennessee, we lost the wide receiver coach, Robert Prince. I might be saying his name wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He was the wide receivers coach. He went to Tennessee as well. Al Harris went to
Chicago.
And had we lost London Wells, who was our tight ends coach, we would have been hemorrhaging. So let's say if we lost him and
right.
Will McClay, we will be dead on arrival.
Oh, wow.
So those were 4 heavy hitting people that we would have lost. We secured London Wells, and we secured Will McClay.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Mike McCarthy, that Jerry didn't now I didn't hear anything about that because like I'm from here. The only ones that they wanted was because they didn't want him, because that means they would have gotten rid of Adams Peters, and Adams Peters has been doing a wonderful job, because he came on board with Josh Harris this is his 3rd year. So no, I can tell you right now, they weren't in the market, because I can't see Washington having 2 general managers. Now Washington wanted something else. Dan Quinn wanted who was it that Dan Quinn wanted, and Jerry Jones said no. I'm gonna tell you exactly who it is. It's and it wasn't Will McClay. I know what you're talking about. Washington wanted somebody. Dan Quinn wanted him, and Jerry Jones said no. Yeah, it wasn't Will McClay. And and the person is going to come to mind when I'm no longer thinking about it. I'm like, that's who it was. And he's still on the roster. Hold on. I could find out right now. But no one didn't find out why the rivalry came to be for.
Oh, nobody is. Mr. Brown, why do we have a rivalry with the Redskins? So this was before Dan Quinn took over, right? Obviously. Way before. Why is yeah, I don't know why. I might have to Google it myself. Oh, Grant Hill's father, Calvin, was a running back for the Dallas in the 70s. And Drew was part of the Hail Mary pass from Roger Staubach. So as much smack as my husband talks about his 49, because he was up here messing with me earlier, his all-time favorite quarterback is Roger Staubach. Like, can't nobody say nothing bad about Roger Staubach. My husband loves Roger Staubach, and he's a 49ers fan. So, you know, he Montana and Young and all them was over there. But Roger Staubach is still his all-time favorite.
And he really don't do a lot of
Does he do a lot of appearances?
He don't do a lot, and if he does it, it's like private ones.
Okay.
No. All right, so this is what it is. Clint Murchison Jr., who was the founder of the Dallas Cowboys expansion team, when he died, he bequeathed the Hail to the Redskins uh, fight song
Mm-hmm.
to the then Washington Redskins. Clint Murchison Jr. had ownership of the song for decades because he did not like George Preston Marshall, who was the racist owner of the
Oh,
then Washington
and Redskins.
Redskins. So there were years. Yep, this goes back to the 70s. Yep. Clint Murchison died in, hold on, when did he die? In 1987. He had the rights to Hail to the Redskins from the late 60s up until he died in 1987. So
How
Washington,
petty.
so Washington, in order for them to still play their fight song, they had to pay the
Right.
royalties
To
to the Dallas Cowboys.
Cowboys. Oh my goodness. That is so petty. But that is a great story.
The Cowboys has always been a petty
A petty,
organization.
a petty organization. Oh my goodness. Oh,
Mhm.
I
And
believe
see,
it.
and that's the thing. Like that's one reason why I say you see, especially here. Like I'm born and raised in DC.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons why you see a lot of Cowboy fans in Washington D.C. because back in the day, like I said, George Preston Marshall, he was not for integration.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they used to play at Griffin Stadium, which is now the Howard University Hospital. And when you go into Howard University Hospital, you will see the home plate. Um, they have it in the exact same spot
Right.
where the home plate was when the Washington Senators used to play there.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is another memorial spot of where the 50-yard line was when the then Washington Redskins played
Mm-hmm.
at Griffin Stadium. So George Marshall is on record. He said the only thing that I want blacks to do at my stadium was to cook the food, tend to the parking, and clean the toilets and anything else inside the stadium. But when he found out that RFK Stadium was going to be the new home for certain Washington teams, and he wanted to get in on that, that's when our home rule mayor at the time was Walter Washington basically told him, I'll see the text in a minute, V. I have to get my phone. It's on the other side of my iPad. Um, or if you want to play at the stadium, you have to integrate.
Oh wow.
So that's why you didn't see black players coming to Washington to play on the team to
To
like
play on the team
the
till
late
till late.
60s, early 70s. Yeah.
Right. And that's why it was such a big deal for Doug to be there
Yeah.
at quarterback and to win.
And then even when Doug Williams came here, oh, he got a whole bunch of racist stuff.
Oh wow.
hmm and Doug Williams have talked about it, how They wasn't even when the NFL, when they do the football life, he talked about how the fan base was, and this is the Washington fan base, how racist they was and all this other stuff.
And he helped them to win the Super Bowl.
And helped them to win the Super Bowl. Hurt at that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So, but yeah, that's why you see a lot of Washington fans, like with me, it became generational. So like I said, with my grandfather.
Your grandfather was a Cowboys fan. Okay.
So it became from a historical purpose, and now it's a generational purchase. Like my parents, they're not into football, but they rep for the little Washington Commodores and everything. They got little Jaden Daniels and stuff.
He said the Commodores.
The Commodores, yeah. So, but they're not into football like I am. So, but yeah, that's why you see a lot of Cowboy fans here, and I do get it with our fan base, because Jerry has made it hard over.
He's made it hard. He's made it hard, and I would like to know, when is he going to hire a black coordinator or a black head coach?
Well, when McCarthy came to town, we did have an assistant head coach. I had a picture of him. I can't think of his name all of a sudden.
But he was an assistant. He wasn't the head coach, and he has never had a black coordinator.
No. But we have. Let me see. When I look at this, wait a minute. That's the team roster. Hold on. Let me go to the coaches. So, coaches. I said coaches. So our wide receivers coach is Junior Adam.
But the position coaches, like the skills coaches, are almost always black. Like the DB coach, the wide receiver coach, almost always are black. You know what I mean? Whoever coaches the secondary is usually always a black coach.
Right. And I think, and one thing I can say, because Shoddy did this one. He picked these people out, but the thing is, he didn't do what Mike McCarthy and some other coaches would do, where you pick your friends and all this other stuff.
Right.
When he did his whole hiring process, and he looked at the waiver, if you want to call it the waiver wire of coaches that is basically eligible for like going to to another team to be a possible strength and conditioning coach, or a position coach, or coordinator, or anything like that. He was the one, him and Will McClay. Like they said, he's like, I like Connor Riley. Connor Riley never did a down or anything in the NFL. He came from Kansas State. Who did we have at the time? They came from Kansas State. We had Deuce Vaughn and Cooper Vaughn. Yeah. And he was the one that designed plays for Deuce and Deuce Vaughn. Well, apparently now we don't have Deuce Vaughn on the team, so we don't know what it will look like for having him to disappear in a defensive line and pop out and try to go for the end zone. But we still have Cooper Beebe as the center, and he's also a guard, so he's a hybrid position player that we had. So that's what he did. But who's to say? We don't know. We don't know, because like I said, Jerry does not have I mean, he has say, but he don't have a lot to say what's going on. And also look at it like with this year. As many times Jerry Jones has gone to the Senior Bowl. Well, the Shrine Bowl is in Dallas, but he wasn't present at the Shrine Bowl. The Shrine Bowl, he wasn't. He didn't go to the Senior Bowl this year, and he didn't show up until the last day of the NFL Combine. The only ones you saw there was Steven, Shoddy, and Will McClay.
Okay.
in the scouts.
Gotcha. So V, I wanna address your question. Should we hire just because they're black? No, I'm not saying hire because they're black, but they brought the Rooney Rule in um, to help. Of course, it's a bunch of crap, But the first person that comes to mind is Brian Leftwich, who was the offensive coordinator
Oh my
with the
God.
Tampa Bay. Then they get fired, and I'm like, how come this man ain't got another job? Like,
Well,
he
he's
won a
with
Super Bowl,
Dion now. He's with
and now
Dion
he's with
now.
Dion. Yeah, now he's with Coach Sanders with Colorado. When that man should have been on somebody else's, either he should have been a head coach, or
Hmm.
he should have been, somebody else should have picked him up because he did a great job. I mean, he won a Super Bowl. I mean, I
Right.
don't know. I don't know
Because
what else. I don't know what else he needs to have on his resume in
and
order to be a head coach,
and I can tell you
or
right
for him to continue to be an offensive coordinator. That's all I'm
and I
saying.
can
I'm
tell you
not
right
saying
now,
to just hire people
Byron,
just because they're black, but when they've proven themselves,
right,
why do they not get rehired when all these other coaches keep getting shuffled around? They
right.
always get the benefit of the doubt, but black coaches don't. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. One thing about Byron Leff is, he's a DC boy. And he graduated
Marshall.
from no, not Marshall. He graduated from the rival high school.
Oh, gotcha. From high school.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So I went to Eastern in DC, and we're not like a top sought after school that scouts will go to see our players. But HD Woodson and Dunbar in DC were the top schools where you can see talent. Brian Leftwich came out of HD Woodson. Vernon Davis came from Dunbar, and before he went to Dunbar, he used to go to Eastern, and he was also a student at Hine Junior High School, which is like a family junior high school. And him and my sister are real cool and real tight. So I remember Vernon Davis coming up to the house and everything where we used to live before practice and everything. So when Byron Leftwich graduated from HD, and I used to work at the recreation center. That had a real good partnership with HD. So when Eastern Senior High School would play HD, whether we win or lose, I would have my Eastern Rambler stuff on. Hi Byron, good luck, and then we also would watch him when he came, when he went to Marshall and everything, and when he was drafted, we had a draft party at the rec center because he was a neighborhood kid and everything. He will go to Watts Branch, which is now Marvin Gaye Recreation Center, and he will chill out and everything. So we was very familiar with him. So he has always been a dynamic player. It's just that he just went to some teams that really didn't have the skins for him. Now, when he was drafted by Jacksonville, he had a real good year his rookie year. But then some things happen, coaches moved here and there, and he just fell by the wayside. But he's a two-time Super Bowl champion. He won one with the Steelers as a backup, and I think he coached there for a little bit to get his feet wet. But when he went to Tampa Bay,
he was killing it. And V, that's all I'm saying is
with
that
that Thomas
when
Brady,
we got a new staff, why would you not go after someone like Brian, who's already has proven himself to be a Super Bowl offensive coordinator, a Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator? So that's all. That's all I was saying.
I think there was a ping for him, but by the time the Cowboys was getting ready to do it, he was already in an interviewing process with Colorado.
But you're just in the interviewing process. You hadn't said yes yet. So what's the difference?
No, but I think it was looking good because right
It was
after
looking
that,
good for him to go with the, because
mhm.
most of the time those players want to stay in the NFL. They don't want to go, they don't want to go to college because college is now you got to recruit and you're on the road. I mean, it's a big difference between coaching in NFL and coaching college because now you
Now,
got
V, let me tell you about Mr. Aaron Glenn. Him and Ben Johnson.
yeah, I like Aaron Glenn too. I agree.
Yeah, they said they basically said in a nutshell for the Cowboys to take them off of any consideration as a head coach. Because everyone know how Jerry is.
Because everybody knows how Jerry is, and they're not getting ready to be no yes man. He's not gonna be a
Right.
yes.
And they're not yes men. You can see, and definitely with Aaron Glenn, you can see how he be sitting on the bench. He got his leg propped up, his arm
Yeah,
on the back of of the bench, just chilling after his team just demolished, you know,
yeah.
Eric
Oh,
B.
you're right, Eric Bieniemy. Yeah,
Women, I'm trying to
but I
think,
don't know. But how successful has he been at UCLA? Didn't he go to UCLA?
but I think he's no longer at UCLA. That's what I'm trying
And
to
I
figure
don't
out.
think he's there anymore either. I mean, so
Because
I
I'm trying
think
to think, did he
maybe
get back into? I think he's back with Kansas City. I don't
is
know.
he back with Kansas City? I don't know. I haven't. I last time I know he was with UCLA, and then I heard he was leaving UCLA.
Yeah,
So
because I think he's back in the league. I think he's back in the
with
league.
Kansas City,
But Alvin, yeah, Ken Norton was a
I think
assistant
Yes,
coach.
Ken Norton was assistant with the Dallas, but assistant. I'm talking about Dallas Cowboys has never had a black coordinator or a black head coach.
Head coach. And then you know what I would like to see what I would like to see the Cowboys do? Add some of these women as coaches.
I don't think that's gonna happen either.
I mean, I think it can, but my thing is I'm not the type of person that like to wish death on somebody.
Yeah,
But I think something will have to happen for that to happen.
yeah,
If you
yeah.
if you catching
I'm
what I'm
reading
putting
between
down.
the lines. Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Because even people ask me all the time, like, "Oh my God, Terry, where do you want to go?" You know who called? You know who asked me how far I want to go with this? Coach Lori Locust hit me up on
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn, and she said, "How far do you want to go with this?" I said, "Girl, I'm not. I love what you're doing. I'm so proud of you, but I don't want that level. I don't want them problems
Alvin,
because
I
I
don't
because I know what it's like dealing with it at the middle school level."
right. By Alvin, I don't think Tom overshadowed Byron because Byron Leftwich no, he was living there anyway, but Tom Brady bought the house next to Byron Leftwich. So they can work tandem together. So what you saw during those 2 years that he was with Tampa Bay, Byron Leftwich designed plays for
Ooh.
Tom Brady.
And that's what I'm talking about. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're
Yeah.
supposed to do. So we talking Cowboys, but I sure want to know why he got fired from Tampa Bay.
I'm trying to think, did he get fired or he completed his
His
contract
contract, and they didn't,
and he
and then
just and
they just
they
didn't
didn't
renew his
renew him.
contract.
Yeah. I think he
Maybe
served
that
his
was it. Maybe
contract.
they just didn't renew his contract.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I remember when who was the coach at that time? Because he took
Bruce Arians.
Bruce Arians, yeah. When he took
Mhm.
I think when he took
He
the
took
front,
like the whatever in the front
yeah,
office.
when he took that front office position and he put Todd Bowles in as the head coach, I think a lot of people was hoping for Brian Leftwich to come in.
Because it would have been iconic because it would have been a black head coach, a black DC, and a black offensive coordinator, which would have
Nader.
never
Yeah. So they kept Todd Bowles, but they didn't renew the contract of
For Byron
Leftwich.
Okay.
So that's what was he was. Yeah, he served and completed his time.
Okay,
but one thing that we was talking about with this whole Micah trade, like we got back close to $20 million, which is the money from his 5th year deal, right? So we have between, I got it now because I told you I text someone to see how much money we have. So right now we currently have $38,606,270 in the bank for cap space. So I'm trying to figure out where did $4 million go, because we with us getting that money back from Michael's 5th year option, that brought us up to like 42 million.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm a question mark that. Like where did the 4 million go? I have questions that need to be answered. So yeah, he was shafted.
I feel like that. I feel like he
Yeah.
was shafted for the coach at Jacksonville. Yeah.
So
And I'm not mad because the Jacksonville coach was our offensive coordinator here at Kentucky 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Great guy.
So this is what we have in cap space: $38,606,270. So this is why I say draft capital and trade equity matters when it comes to teams. Now, the one thing I did tell my buddy for the Cowboys, that we should have gotten more. We should have gotten the two first round draft picks and Kenny Clark. I like Kenny Clark.
I like Kenny Clark too.
And everyone said, well,
and I hope Kenny is excited about being here.
Oh,
I mean, I know it's hard to get traded, but I hope he just comes and embraces being.
He said I watched his interview. He said when he got the call, he was happy.
Really?
He was happy.
But because to get out of the cold weather and go to some warm weather,
and not only that, you get ready to go into a climate controlled
stadium. Yeah, opposed to it. Yes, absolutely.
Right.
That's gotta be a big difference climate wise.
Right.
Ooh,
so
I don't know how anybody just get used to the cold weather.
Exactly. And I like that we have him because he is a one tech nose tackle. So Mozzie Smith, no longer watch out. Guess what? You're now the second string. And I called it when it happened. I said he's going to move to the second string. And now Kenny Clark has came now at a critical time, because Perion Winfrey, who was the 1A1 tech nose tackle, he's not going to be suited up for
Thursday
for Philly.
Okay.
So now Kenny Clark is going to be taking whatever reps that Perion Winfrey would have gotten in this game. And we need to clog the hole. We need to stop the run. And he is a run stopper. They say, well, he didn't have a good year last year. He had one little foot injury and he was only out for maybe like 2-3 weeks, and he was back in. Like nothing has left.
Right.
And he's a 3-time Pro Bowler. And he was like, I forgot what round he got drafted in, but he was like a first grade draft pick.
Okay, gotcha. But the fact that he's a Pro Bowler for 3 years, I mean, to me, just said a lot.
Right. And then, but I said I still would have taken him, but I would have also got a couple of second round picks and their cornerback, Edgerton Cooper, because we don't know what this cornerback room is going to look like. Even though,
well, I got another one of my boys up there, Carrington Valentine. I would have loved to have gotten him in Dallas. Oh my God.
Yeah, because we don't know what this cornerback room, this quarterback room is going to look as far as the secondary, because even though Trayvon Diggs is activated for week,
because they got Zion playing corner, because he was a safety at Kentucky.
Yeah, he's going to be playing nickel. Let me pull up the
depth chart.
I have the
because I saw you drop the depth chart in there somewhere.
Yeah, you know me. As soon as I get stuff, I'm like, hey y'all, here's
girl, I know, I appreciate it so much. That's why I was like, oh, let me bring her on, because I would love to be able to grow this to because I wanted to talk to different teams every week, but I ain't want to do that. And so I kind of dropped that, and then I didn't follow through with it after we did it one time. Then I didn't follow through with it, mainly because I didn't want to hear what all the other teams have to say, because everybody always loved to come on here and say something about our Cowboys.
Yeah. So on this,
you're not gonna come on my show and disrespect my team.
Yeah. So on this depth chart, they don't have him for this game. For who they have playing for the nickel cornerback, which I don't agree with, is Deron Bland and Reddy Stewart. They got
Didn't
them.
Deron just resign? Didn't they just give him a extension?
Yeah, and let me tell you, here's another thing. Micah Parsons, Deron Bland, Jake Ferguson, Tyler Smith, and it's another one. Oh, and Butter, our kicker. They have all. They have all.
To be first.
Yeah, let me tell you, they have all been in the same window for contract negotiations. The same time as Micah Parsons. They started the second week of minicamp, which was in June. And then they did not resume it until the second week of training camp, so those players can have a vacation time before training camp started. So the second week of training camp, they all had contract negotiations and meetings with the front office and their representation. Fergie got signed first. Deron Bland just got signed. And
why are we waiting on Butter?
We're not waiting on.
What are we waiting on Butter? I mean, he's the best in the league.
Butter, because the kickers are not cap space casualties. Because the market for a kicker is like between $3 to $6 million. So they will only get maybe like 1.5 or 1.7 mil a year. Listen, I'm very good at kickball. I think I could kick a ball through a field.
What?
For that? Listen, I'd be happy.
$1 million.
And you ain't taking taxes out.
Oh, come on.
So, one thing that Tyler Smith said when it was asked about being next to get a contract, he said everything will happen in due time. The most important thing is focusing on Thursday. And he said the message he has to his fans is, we appreciate y'all, and we're going to go out there and handle business. And he has the same agent as Dak has. He has Todd France. Now we are going to see David Mulligata next year because George Pickens.
Oh, that's his agent. Okay.
Yeah, the same agent as Micah Parsons.
Same as Micah Parsons. Okay. So did Jerry not look for viable quarterback replacement for Romo and Dak? Both men were often viewed as mediocre quarterbacks.
Okay, so here's the thing. the quarterback we had in play, I mean, after Romo would have been Kellen Moore. And what a lot of people tend to forget is Dak Prescott was a 4th round compensatory pick. And one thing that a lot of people don't know about the 4th quarter, that's where you get the cream of the crop and everything. And if you look at it, the quarterbacks of class of 2016, where are they now?
Is that Dak's class?
Dak's class. Where are they
All
now?
of them gone. All of them gone.
All of them gone. So
who went in the first round that year?
Was it Jared Goff or Carson Wentz? One of, because it was Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, Paxton.
Carson still around? Jared Goff still around?
Well, besides him.
Okay.
But Carson Wentz is now a journeyman. But when I say where they still now, Dak Prescott is the only one that is still with the team that drafted him. That's where I was.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. That's still with the team that drafted him. Okay.
Right. But the reason why, like, out of all those quarterbacks, Paxton Lynch, Jared Goff, Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott, and it was another one. I wanted Dak Prescott with us because of, at the time, who we had as an offensive coordinator, which was Bill Callahan, and I forgot who our quarterback coach was. We had two good coaches that could develop.
Whatchamacallit, their quarterback coach at that time?
John Kitna.
Oh no, I thought that became the head coach. No, I thought
John Kitna was there, but he was more like a mentor. I forgot who our quarterback coach was.
I thought the dude that became the head coach was forever before McCarty was the quarterback coach at that time.
Hold on, let me find out.
What's his name? The redheaded dude. Oh my God, he was our coach for 10 years.
Oh, Jason Garrett.
Jason Garrett. I thought Jason Garrett was the quarterback coach.
No, he was the head coach in 2016.
Oh, so he was already a coach. Okay.
Yeah. Dang. I can't think of who our quarterback coach was in
2016.
In 2016. It's like I said, it's gonna come back to me late, but we had two good coaches that could have conditioned and strengthened Dak. And the only reason why Dak fell into the place he was in, because Kellen Moore suffered an ACL injury, I think like the first or second week of training camp.
And then Romo got injured.
And Romo got injured in preseason game 2 against Seattle Seahawks. And to answer everybody's question that they keep asking, like why we don't start our players in preseason games and yada yada yada, because ever since Tony Romo got injured during preseason game, the Cowboys said we are not putting our starting players that we know we're going to need for week 1
in a preseason game.
Risk them getting hurt.
But then they don't get no reps. They don't get no full game reps before, because like we just played a game this past Saturday. My son's team college just started this past Saturday for us, and one of the things they talked about was we looked raggedy because there's no scrimmage.
Right. And I think that's why we
don't get to see real reps prior to the real season, so that you can see what you need to work on.
Right. And I think that's why you see a lot of, especially with us, we do a lot of joint practices, because they know with the by them wearing the red jerseys, they know not to touch them.
They can't get touched,
so they won't get hurt. So I think that's why you see especially for like the first two preseason games, the first teams will always take the reps during the joint practices at during training camp instead of seeing them. Yeah. But the preseason, like normally the last preseason will basically be like a dress rehearsal, and in the dress rehearsal is basically showing people, okay, even though the 53-man roster is not submitted, this is what it will look like for the regular season.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. I can't believe it's been 2 hours.
Oh, it has. Dang.
I meant to come on an hour, just talk about it. It's been 2 hours.
Was Quincy Carter in before Romo? He was. Quincy Carter was a good quarterback, but you know, some of his life decisions messed that up. But it was Bledsoe. Bledsoe got injured, and that's how Romo came in, because Bledsoe was with us.
Bledsoe, I mean, that's a lot of quarterbacks get they shot because somebody else got
yeah, and Bledsoe got injured when he was with Green Bay, with New England. That's how Tom Brady came.
That's how Tom Brady came about. Yeah. I thought Carson Wentz just signed. I thought he'd just resign. I thought he'd just resign.
He's now like.
But okay, well, anything we need to know for this game on Thursday before we go ahead and wrap this up?
Let's see.
What's your prediction?
Well, I already had this game as an L back in March. What I can say was I knew that this game was going to be the first game back in February, because I broke the news on Built Different Group. And Barry Gibson, who runs that group, he didn't believe me. And I said, I'm telling you from a source, a very reliable source, that when it came out that Philly was going to open up the season, Jerry Jones put in the campaign and the request for us to play Philly on the first game. Because now,
is it at Philly or at Dallas?
It's at Philly. And just recently, the tickets for the nosebleed has spiked up $400 extra. It was $500 starting, but when I checked today, it was almost close to the thousands. For the nosebleed, and that's before taxes and service fees and stuff. Yeah. So some of the things I could say is I do know the Eagles plan to keep their play calling kind of simple, which to me, I think the Cowboys needs to make it complicated if they're going to make it simple. The Cowboys cornerback will probably need to play man to man if the safeties are planning on coming downfield. The Eagles may play zone coverage to keep everything in front of them. The Cowboys will be in the primary white uniform. Our linebacker, Jack Sanborn, who came in with Coach Flus, he will be wearing the green dot helmet. And why is that important? That is the quarterback for the defense. So he will be receiving the plays from our defensive coaches, because there's and I actually have a helmet like this where it's a microphone and a computer in that helmet, and the only ones that will really wear it will be the defense, whoever the quarterback for the defense is, which is like the middle linebacker,
right?
And all three quarterbacks. So Jack Sanborn will be wearing that helmet. But yeah, I have this game as an L. I said we're going to split the series, but and this was before anything with Micah Parsons. But but right now, I don't think we're going to take the series with the Eagles. I think they're going
The sweeper.
to sweep the series with us.
Okay.
Both in Philly and in Dallas. So I don't think it's going to be it's not going to be a blowout. I'm still teetering if it's going to be 31, like 31-28 or 27-23.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's what I have.
That's your prediction. Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool, cool.
It may change tomorrow, you never know. But there is no practice. The final practice report will come out tomorrow, maybe 12 o'clock our time, because they are scheduled to leave the Dallas Fort Worth area at 3 o'clock their time, 4 o'clock Eastern time. And they should arrive to Philly by no later than 6 o'clock or 6:50 Eastern. Yeah, Eastern time. So we'll see. It's going to be a good game on Thursday. Is we'll just see. We're not going to get everything worked out in, like I say, in one game. I don't think stuff is going to really be gelling in probably by week 4, week 5.
Gotcha.
Of the season.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna get ready for the memes.
I know they're coming.
They're comedy and they're funny.
Yes. And for any Black women, I started this group a year ago. It's just for Black women, but it's called Sisters with an H who loves the Dallas Cowboys. So it's for every Dallas Cowboys fan that's dripping in Black girl magic. This is our safe space for us.
I
I
know
drop
they,
a
they
lot of
asked about why do you need a Black women love football group, and I was like, because we just need our own space, because
own space.
we're not being discriminatory, we're not racist, it's nothing like that. It's just that sometimes we just need our own space.
We need our own safe space.
Safe space.
Yes.
Period.
Period.
Right.
Heavy on the period.
Heavy on the period. Right.
Yes.
Right. I mean, that's why I love my podcast, because I can dictate who comes on and who can't come on. I was trying to think, can I block people? I sure can. I didn't know I can ban users and delete their comment. And I'm knock on wood, I haven't had to do that yet. And I'm at about 100 and almost 150 episodes.
Yeah, I don't think I had to.
I have not had to delete anybody or ban anybody.
Yeah, I don't think I had to block anyone. No. And I even have a Facebook group for a football one for my sorority, Zeta Phi Beta sorority. And of course, I just drop any kind of NFL news and everything. And we do have an Instagram group. We have, and it's not only for NFL, we got a lot of football moms that is in that group. One of my sorority sisters and her husband, who's also a frat brother of mine, their son is the linebacker for Syracuse. So I said, now you got me watching a PWI and all this other stuff. So, because
well, my baby's at the University of Kentucky. He plays strong safety.
Yes, and everyone know, if anybody knows me, I'm very heavy on the HBCU, for the HBCU teams and everything.
Yeah, I hated that Coach Vic lost his first game.
Yeah, but Townsend is like 40. Has always been a good team. They're like 40, they're closer to Baltimore, but so I want to say maybe like 40-45 minutes from where I live. And I wanted to go see Norfolk, because Norfolk is a family school. So if I were to rep, like, I have no allegiance to a college team.
Okay.
But if I was to rep a college team, it will be the Norfolk State Spartans.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see them play. I said, oh, Norfolk's coming here on
Really?
November 22nd to play Howard.
Oh, that will be a good game.
Yeah, so I know those Howard sells has a partnership with SeatGeek. So I went on SeatGeek to see how much the tickets was, $75. I said, all because of little Michael Vick.
Oh my goodness. They used to not be $75?
No.
Really?
And now they got, I'm telling you, HBCUs, they're coming a long way. And now they got season ticket blocks.
I love it. I love it. We have Kentucky State here.
I love it for them. I do.
Yeah.
And this guy that we're still in contact and stuff. We used to talk or whatnot. His daughter is a cheerleader for Norfolk State. But he's a Hampton guy. He graduated from a school on the other side of the bay in the Hampton Roads area. So I said, oh, how you going to do that? He's like, I ain't wearing no Norfolk State stuff. I'm a straight Hampton pirate. Duh, 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 duh. But now he's wearing a Norfolk State dad hat and all this other stuff. But he's wearing it backwards and all this other stuff. But I remember when cause like I said, she's a cheerleader. So when she was going, getting her ready, like going to the cheerleading rookie camps and all that other stuff, I was like, give me a Norfolk State jersey. And he would send me like I said, come on, come on, pirate, come on, go get me a Norfolk State, behold the green and gold, So, but
that's good stuff. Well, one more question. Last question, and I'll let you go. You're on your own podcast. You're on so many other different platforms. Is there anything that you have not been able to say that you've been wanting to say?
Well, now since the whole Michael Parsons thing's over, I said everything. Now that that's over. Yeah, that was the only thing.
Was just your feelings about Micah.
Because I couldn't. Yeah, because of the stuff that I was privy to know, I couldn't say it at the time.
Yeah.
But now that the trade is over with, and it was funny. One of our Black Women Love Football sisters, she's going to be on my podcast tomorrow doing her game time matchup because she is an Eagles fan. We was on the phone and everything, and we was talking a little bit about Michael Parsons and everything. So in the middle of our conversations, I get the text alert to say that it's been done. We decided to trade, and I said, "Oh, it's done. It's trade." I said, "He's been traded," and then she was like, "What? I didn't get nothing." I said, "Oh, trust me, the news is about to drop in the next 30 minutes."
Wow.
So after the news dropped and everything, yeah, I can say everything now. So it's unless if it's something real heavy and people will know, like if I say, yeah, they're like, okay, so she know, but she can't say much or nothing right now. But once the news dropped, then hey, I get to percolating and say,
I had to go put your group on just like on my favorites list, so to make sure that I'm getting stuff firsthand, so I can keep up with what's going on.
Yeah.
So sis, thank you so much.
That's going to be going on soon.
It's a lot. So let's see if we can meet back next week. I might have to move it up to 8:00 though.
Okay, that's fine.
Because it's late. My husband's blowing me up now because I got to get in the bed. So we got a game tomorrow. So he's gonna be like, you're gonna be tired.
Who's playing?
I coach.
No, I'm saying who y'all playing?
Oh, we're playing like our rivalry team. It's a rivalry game.
Okay.
We're playing our crosstown rivalry with Hayes Middle School, and yeah, it's
Okay.
always a dog, and it's always a dog fight.
Ooh. And I love the dog fight ones. Those are good
Always a
games.
dog fight. And then our best player is not going to be able to play. He had got a concussion, so
Ooh.
I had to make a whole lot of changes on offense and not enough time to really implement it the way I really want to. So yeah,
I have a
it'll be
question. I do have a question. Do
mm-hmm.
y'all implement like the same type of concussion protocol that like the leagues in college do for middle league for middle school?
I'm not sure, but I think so. I mean,
Because I know like
it's real,
in the
yeah,
league,
because
like
this,
concussion
this happened
protocol
like
can
last
last.
Thursday. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I know like in the league, concussion protocol can last up to like 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
sometimes they can clear out a protocol by 2 weeks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think that he got cleared already, but my husband is still not playing him.
Alvin
Which so,
said,
so yeah,
Terry,
so
question for the Dallas historian.
oh, thank you, Alvin. Oh, and thank you, Devontae, and who we had V on here, and what was your other girl?
Megan.
Megan, my daughter Jalen was on. Thank y'all for coming on, and for those haters that popped on and just lurking or whatever and didn't say nothing. I appreciate you.
We may need to bring when we Devontae, because I see him saying Detroit versus
Detroit.
versus
Mm-hmm.
everybody. So I'm guessing
Yeah, he lives in Detroit.
he's a Lions fan. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
that Tuesday before we play Detroit, he could come on so we could talk. So we can have some intellectual discussions
About Detroit.
yeah.
Detroit. Yeah, I have a good friend of ours. He's a Detroit fan too. We might have to bring him on.
Yeah. And I know we say got to go because I keep seeing this across the screen about the
the Lexington African American Sports Hall of Fame.
African.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Art Gala is on September the 20th. They're my sponsor, the Lexington African American Sports Hall of Fame, and then my husband and I are both on the red carpet hosts for
Mm-hmm.
those. I'm trying to think if there's anybody that do you know who let me see who's on there, Mr. Brown, that's you may know.
I met for the Steelers.
I had Damani Dawson on last week.
Damani. Yeah, one of my sorority sisters is a big Steelers fan, and she was supposed to come up to the CSA show, but she fell ill, and Dawson was one of the guests. So I said, my sorority sister was planning on coming up here, but I said she fell ill, and I know she's a big fan of yours and stuff. So I said, can you just give her a little message and I could just send it to her? So he did this wonderful 1-minute message just to her and
He's
everything.
So sweet.
And then Jerome Bettis was there, so I told him the same thing. So while he's walking, he said, where's your phone at? So I gave him my phone, and he went to the video. He said, hey, Tanya, where are you? He was looking for you.
Oh, that is so sweet. Shane Boyd, I don't know if you remember who Shane Boyd is. He played for Kentucky, but I think he was on the Titans and a couple of he was a quarterback. I'm trying to think anybody else that
I think the only Kentucky one that I could say I'm familiar with, I think he came from Kentucky, is I call him the green eye assassin, Randall Cobb. Girl, I was so happy.
I was so excited that 1 year he was with the Dallas Cowboys.
Right. And then I met him at the same CSA show for the summer show. As soon as he got signed with us, and me and my girls, we was there. So we was backstage with him and everything while he's doing autographs and stuff, and we just causing all kind of ruckus and stuff. And he was like, I'm gonna call y'all Randall's girls and everything. So so every time when we walk by and everything, and he said, y'all good? We like, yeah, we good. But when I saw his eyes, and his eyes is actually sepia green. So when it's like a low light, it's more like a hazel color. But when he get out into the sun, it turns like a sepia green. I said, Randall, I said, I don't want to speak out of place because I know you a married man. But you got them eyes that you could do anything wrong and we will forgive you.
That is hilarious.
So
that is hilarious.
I think that's the only Kentucky play I like.
Yeah, he was just here not too long ago and did a interview before the season.
Okay. Yeah, I like him, but I didn't like him in October of 2017 when I went down to Dallas to see the bad man that was the quarterback of the Packers at that time, because we had that game from the time it started until the last 6 minutes and 28 seconds of the game, because they came from having 12 points on the board and scored close to 40 on us. And we gave that game away.
But how many games have we given away?
Exactly. But guess who was handling the business? Aaron Rodgers and Randall Cobb. And I'm sitting there
like, yeah.
I'm like, what am I just watching? And to make matters worse, it was more Packers fans than it was Cowboy fans.
And that,
when I say that in Dallas,
because we went to so my son played at South Carolina 2 seasons ago, and Dallas played the Panthers the day after. And so we went to that game, and it looked like I was in Dallas. There was way more Dallas fans than there were Panthers fans.
Let me tell you, I've been to away games for Dallas and, of course, home games. The Cowboys fan base is a very big traveling fan base. We'll go wherever, and when you go, like you said, like for the Carolinas, in North Carolina alone, it's more than 10 Dallas Cowboy fan clubs in the state of North Carolina. North Carolina is one of the hubs. The other hub is California. They have big Cowboy fan clubs in both of these states, and each one of those fan clubs can easily hold 100 people. Now, like, I have a fan club, and I'm happy with the 15 members we have, but and the thing is, because we just have fun and stuff. It's no drama, it's no nothing, right. Because we deal with a lot of drama in our own personal lives.
Of course.
We come together and for 4 hours and watch the team, and then we also do community service and all this other stuff. But there's a lot of fan clubs, so the Cowboys travel well. Are you
going to Charlotte next year for the Nationals for the?
No, because and the only reason why, because the dates conflict with my sorority's conference.
Okay.
So it's the same week, yeah. Okay. And I'm trying to go to Nashville for that. But yeah, the Packers travel very well. It doesn't matter what team, but if it's like one of those big rivalry teams, the whole state of Wisconsin will leave by busloads and come, because the year that I went, that same game that we could have won, but we gave it to Aaron Rodgers and Randall Cobb in the last 6 minutes and 28 seconds of the fourth quarter. You see, I still haven't forgot about that.
I know.
Because how you have 12,
how did you make that happen?
How you have 12 points and you score almost close to 40 in 6 minutes and 28 seconds. I'm still baffled by it. So Kara, so when I found out, I was like, how, when, where, why? Come to find out, when I left out, and I didn't notice it during the tailgate, but when I left out of AT&T Stadium, there were like 20 buses that was heading to go back to Wisconsin.
20 buses.
20 buses.
That's crazy.
So the Packers travel real well. The Steelers travels real well.
Yeah, I got a lot of friends that are Steelers fans. And see,
But
I'm and here in Kentucky, we got a lot of Bengals fans.
yeah.
And then all my in-laws are Titans fans.
Yeah. And the Saints travel real well. So there's a lot of fan base. Oh, and the Ravens, Baltimore Ravens travel real well. So there's a lot of fan bases that travels real well. Because like for that Green Bay game, someone texted me and said, I'm watching the game on TV. Please don't tell me it's all Packers. I said, it is all Packers.
All Packers.
It was just like a sea of green. And you could only see a speck of Cowboy jerseys at AT&T Stadium.
Gotcha.
It's
well,
crazy.
I could have ended this stream an hour ago, but I just let y'all just continue to sit here and listen in on our conversation. All right, girl, I'm gonna end this stream. Listen, we'll see. Let's try this again next week and see what happens after this win or this loss after this game, and maybe we could do a recap of what's going on around the league. But we're gonna do mostly just all Cowboys. I ain't studying everybody else, but we'll talk about everybody else.
And I'll definitely text you my number too.
Okay, sounds good. Hey, thank you so much for coming on, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
All right.